So today we'll be talking more about the product, the newer innovation, what we're really doing. But before that, like how we really think about these products, how we got the feedback, how customer helped us in narrating this whole perspective, what AI has taught is what I'll really give you as a glimpse. There are 3 trends which we are seeing in people industry right now, especially the HR and the talent ecosystem. These 3 trends are actually dominating the overall scene. Trend 1, what we have seen, is all about speed of change. Every company, every industry, every country, for that matter, every economy is changing at a different speed right now. The second most important trend what we have seen is increased specialization. Companies are thinking we have to specialize in the products and the services we deliver. So we need talent which are specialized too. The third trend which we're seeing is everyone wants to be a star. It might be a generational issues or whatever it is, but people want to get recognized. These are the 3 trends which are dominating the scene today. Every industry is going through this. Take an example of evolution of circus. As kids, we all used to love going to circus. Like, animals are the center of the stage, and everything is a short, mini packages of things which used to really roll. From there, we moved to more fabulous, more entertaining, more mesmerizing experiences like Circus du Soleil. The stage sets are much more grander. The whole thing is much more acrobatic. It's phenomenal in how it looks. Circus du Soleil actually went through the 3 trends, what we are really talking about. Trend 1 is all about the live entertainment has completely changed. We as a society have a different expectation of how animals has to be used and how humans can really become those animals in terms of really performing these acts. And there is only one act throughout the Circus du Soleil performance which you really take through end to end. On top of it, technology has been specialized, especially the lighting, the sound systems, the automation, the robotics, the stage setting. And the third trend which they really made sure there are many more stars, both in the front stage and in the backstage of performance. This evolution actually helped in multiple folds for talent. Talent can really show their potential in much more vibrant format. They have a lot more opportunities than they used to have. There are many people who are not able to do good in Hollywood actually moved to Circus du Soleil. Whether it is sound engineers or set designers or actors or performers, on top of it, it gave them an earning potential. In spite of all this evolution, it didn't survive. In the middle of COVID, it bankrupted. Now you can think about the new circus will evolve again and reinvent itself. And how it will be, we'll see in the next couple of years. But the most important point is, this is happening everywhere. Every company, every work zone is going through this today. And the most important question what we have in front of us is, how will we help individuals transfer their potential into skills and competencies needed for today and the future markets? This is the most important question right now we have as HR or as companies. Now, AI can help in this, but humans has to commit for this transformation. We as HR has to commit for this transformation, more importantly. AI can help you because AI-driven processes can scale a lot better than traditional processes. Because you cannot see data at the level where AI can, and it can help you in that particular format. There is another big shift right now going on in AI, which is even fabulous. Look at human evolution. The most marvelous thing is human language. Today, machines can understand humans at a different level. In the last 10 years, it actually moved up probably 1000x. Now, it started with natural language understanding. When Alexa came out, it started really listening to you and understand, and Siri came out, Google Home came out, and there are a bunch of products came out so that when you speak, the machine can understand in the back end. Then we have the deeper learning models, which actually try to build context, whether it is Spotify or Netflix, whoever it is, in the background, can really build a context so that they can give you the content which is relevant. With these two advancements in the last 10 years, in the last couple of years, we have a newer advancement, which is the generative AI, which is you can generate text on the fly based on the question you are asking, and the machine can understand. You can also create images. You can also generate videos which are scary yet funny, and half of it is fake, and nobody understands what is real. So if you ask a question like, a pink elephant with a cup of coffee perched in a tree, watching the sunset, those are the pictures you get. That is a level of understanding a machine has today. What this means to all of us is, every knowledge worker will get a minimum of 10% lift in their productivity and efficiency. This means trillions of dollars will be saved in employee productivity. The most important thing what we have to think right now is, how will you put human in the loop so that the machine and the human are working together, where AI can help, and what are the skills and the competencies humans has to learn so that we can do a better judgment. Now, if you take generative AI as an example, it uses a technique called as reinforcement learning with human feedback. What it means is, if you see in the middle, there is a humongous organism. It is actually growing by the text of the internet and also the multiple personalities of humans loaded into the model. And through that, you really create a human feedback loop where you have to correct the course correction. That's how ChatGPT actually works in the back end. With this kind of an infrastructure, you will have limitations. The limitations are more about how it understands you and creates bias. The second limitation which you constantly see is, it's all about, can it really make sure it verifies facts? On top of it, it constantly look at like, hey, I'll give a wrong answer with confidence. That's one thing which you observe in ChatGPT. It has no doubt in any answer it really generates. And like, if you really look at like, it cannot understand the nuance of the language, the phrases what you really talk about. It also have limitations specifically about ambiguity, Then common sense reasoning is also another area where it has a struggle. And also specifically about the context. So if you really look at like ChatGPT only remembers the last 6 hours of data, and every time the history gets created. The reason is it's hard to really maintain context for a very, very long time. It's not only ChatGPT. You can even really look at like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, which generate images. All these are limited in context. The phrase what you give as a prompt is the most important thing. But instead of all these limitations, you can still think generative AI is going to disrupt, especially work zones 4 and 5. Every company can really think about it's a comparative advantage, yet it has some elements of creative destruction. So now you have 3 questions to ask yourself. The first question is, what is the potential of this technology for our organization, and what are the use cases we can go after, and for our industry too? The second question is primarily about how will organization will change and how talent needs will change based on skills and competencies. And the third thing is, what is the policy change we have to bring in? What are the guardrails we have to put together because of the limitations of all these systems really available? And how do we make sure it's legally protected and a human in loop throughout this process? When we are really designing the products, we thought about these 3 questions extensively. And whenever we are thinking about a new product, we focus on really what matters based on what the customer feedback is and what the user is really doing on the product. To deliver better products, the most important thing right now you need is a better data set. On top of it, once you have a better data set, you get a better context. Then you can really build better models and fine-tune the models what you have. And then you can also think about how can you deliver better experiences throughout so that you have a better scale. At Phenom today, we have a humongous, massive data engine, which is actually the context it creates through this kind of data sets what we created for a very long time. And we use a Phenom Ensemble approach. So all the NLU models or LLM models, which are the primary models for generative AI, we use those models as foundational models. Then we create on top of it something called as a model which is primarily really specialized, specifically for an industry or a work zone or a location. Then we create a contextual models, which are primarily oriented towards the company, the team, and the user. And now what happens is, in the contextual models, you can build privacy, you can build security, safety into the whole thing, and you can think about bias in a much more extensive format. So the foundational models cannot do at an individual level. They really are universal, that's it. So these ensemble approach is nothing but, it's like a coral reef where thousands of small animals live with marine life together. Now, the most important thread when you're really doing this is you have to do something called as adverse impact reports, which we constantly see. Is it growing or falling apart? Here is the most important point. People think bias can be eliminated. It's a good world to have eliminated bias. But I don't think bias elimination is a possibility until we identify bias, build awareness in bias, and really start thinking about how to reduce bias. Don't go for eliminating bias right now because it's ingrained in all of our human brains. We connect data, people, and their interactions in a much more efficient way to deliver phenomenal experiences. Today we have product announcements which are really going to connect these things. We have first product, which we'll really talk about, is Phenom Experience Plus. It's the co-pilot for HR, primarily driven for all the people in the HR ecosystem, whether it's a recruiter, the talent management, whole team, or the managers or the leaders. How can they interact with this so that you can get the insights faster in a natural language way? You also see specifically in zone 4 and 5, we have intelligent products for both talent acquisition and talent management. You will see interview management. It's all about how video interviewing can reshape using AI. And then also how a candidate can continue after applying for a job while interviewing. And for the talent management, you have workflow intelligence. Specifically, we built a new product called as ERM, which is employee relationship management. And you will see how succession planning manager apps are really getting upgraded. For automation, we have specifically built for zone 1 and 2, but can be used anywhere. Last year, we announced high volume hiring, which has humongous adoption. From that data, we created automation engine and how that engine can function. Then we created something called as talent campaigns, companions, which is basically campaign the talent throughout their journey. On top of it, we also have requisition and offer management. From the talent management side, we also created a new product for frontline workforce, how Alumni marketplace can really work, and how career pathing in frontline workforce can really be built in a much more thoughtful format. And you'll also see platform upgrades, especially the design studio and how analytics are reshaping. And also finally, you'll see from the infrastructure, the AI control center. How can HR control the overall ecosystem where AI has to play and stop? And the connectors, how the data will flow. So now I'll invite the product team to start really showing the product.
Hey everyone, how we doing? Good, good. No hangovers from last night? All right. Well, we're going to show you some really awesome product stuff that if you do have a hangover, you'll forget about it by the end, for sure. I'm Sean. This is my good friend Maggie. We're both on the product team. Let me take you through a little journey as we get into this, and then I'll get into the product. So imagine I'm a hiring manager, and somebody leaves my team suddenly for whatever reason. I got to act fast, and I got to be responsible about it. So I do what any hiring manager would do in this scenario. I call my HR professional. I say, I got a job. I got to get it posted yesterday. Help me out. And my HR professional says, great. Why don't you go ahead and write that job description for me? I'll get back to you in 3 days. We'll do a little intake meeting. Bingo, bango. You're good to go. Okay, so I want to be responsible. In the bathroom, I pull up ChatGPT and I say, write me a job description, right? And it does. It does it quick, but it's crummy because it doesn't know anything about my company. It doesn't know anything about the skills that I need on my team, has no context, has no personalization. I shoot that off to the recruiter. She gets back to me in 3 days, or he gets back to me in 3 days and says, looks great. What's your schedule like next week? Okay, so now we're a week and 3 days into this problem, and we don't have a solution. Let's see how Phenom's product can get us a solution quicker and better. So we'll go into the product now. What I'll do is I'll pull up my hiring manager app, and I'll just click on create a job requisition, because that's what I want to do. And it's going to ask me, what job are you looking for, Sean? And all I got to do is tell it a title. Instantly, X Plus goes into the background, into that rich data that we have. And it says, okay, I've seen that title before. You have 4 other jobs that we had previously. Let me get those together. I see you're trying to edit this for diversity. We got to get that in here. And oh, by the way, I'm going to take out all the bias too that you had in the last one. Okay, so I have all of that. 3 seconds, boom, there it is. And now the human in the loop really starts acting on this job description. So X Plus comes up on the side and it says to me, Sean, show me who's the best candidate for this. Is it somebody you interviewed before? Is it somebody that's in the job currently? Is it somebody that left the job? And I say, I don't know why I like this person, but I really like this person. Just figure it out. And I do. I click on it. And what it does is it goes and looks at the title, the location, the skills, the experience of this person, and starts integrating it into the job description. The next thing it says is, hey, P.S., COVID's over. I don't think you want this remote anymore, right? And I go, heck no. I want to meet people, so let's make it hybrid. So boom, just like that, it changes the location to a hybrid location. And then it's going to say to me, take one last look at everything that we've done here, Sean. Is there anything else you want to add? Yeah, actually, I watched a great talk at Phenom the other day, and they said generative AI is going to be a really important skill for the future. So I want this marketing manager to know how to use Phenom's generative AI. So I'm going to add that as a skill in there and say, go. That's going to get fired off to my recruiter, and just like that, I'm done. I have a highly personalized, contextualized job description that goes out, and we're off and running in the recruiting world. And that's where Maggie's going to tell you what the recruiter does.
Thanks, Sean. So good morning. I'm Maggie. I'm a recruiter, and I'm ready to start my day. So usually, as some of you in this room know, you've got sourcing, you've got screening, you've got intake meetings, you're dealing with processes internally, lots of different things coming at you, but you just got a job open. When that job historically came open, you would pull up an Excel file, go back through your ATS, post that job out. Now you're able to actually start discovering these leads immediately right in front of you, and you've got your BFF X Plus on your hands. You are now able to identify with X Plus, it already did identify for you, right? 256 people that actually meet that criteria of that product marketing manager. Now I can give it some context and say, you know what, just show me the top 50, that's it. It can start pulling those top 50 for me. To deep dive into this a little bit more though, do I want to look at maybe people who worked for a competitor? Yes. Do I want to look at people who are most likely to respond? Yes. But how about we go one step further? What about if we want to take a look at people who interviewed for this job previously, mentioned adaptability in their interview stages? I want to see those people. Now I've got 11 candidates at my fingertips that meet that criteria. I want to take a look at Jane. In this quick viewpoint here, I can take a look at everything that meets the criteria that I'm looking for that product marketing manager position. It will actually pull in all of her past interview information, assessments, and show me where she can be compatible. This is what I like to call the 6-second view, right? Before, when we're sourcing, we're taking a look at that CV or resume. It takes about 30 seconds to go through it, flip to the next one, flip to the next one. In 6 seconds here, I should be able to look at this AI and help me make that decision. So now I can quickly add her to the job, get back to her later. I can adjust this with actually understanding maybe the AI needs some help from me. I'm going to give it that additional context. Or maybe I actually want to contact her right now. So I can start doing that. I can generate this by SMS, WhatsApp, or email, and the information can get auto-generated for me from X+. It's really helping me out. But I can adjust this to go even deeper. I know that Jane was previously rejected at my organization, so I want to make sure that I'm adding language in there, but without actually adding that language in there. X+ is going to help me do that. So I can contextualize this email to make it so personal to Jane and potentially the other people that I'm going to actually respond to, and it's going to do that for me. After that, of course, X+ is back to help me again. I can take a look at internal people who actually would also be a great fit for this and start marketing to them instantly. After we have that wrapped, we can start going through my inbox. Now, this is going to be a huge game changer. We have all of that context in one spot for me as that recruiter. I have my emails coming in the CRM. I have my text messages. I have my WhatsApp messages. All of it's in one spot. The best part about this, though, is when I try to schedule an interview, I'd have to go back and forth and continue that process. This is also going to be streamlined for me. I can, again, chat with X+ and say, hey, go ahead and schedule this interview for me, and it's done. So with that, we're wrapping up on how we can start that communication. Let's take a look at how candidates can respond here and what that candidate experience looks like. We're going to bring up Luba and Lindsay to show you that experience.
My name's Luba, and I'm the candidate who has had a terrible, terrible experience over the last few weeks in this job market, trying to find that right role for myself. I'm looking for something that's pretty basic and pretty simple. I want a job in marketing, I want it to be flexible, and I really want it to be in the Philadelphia area because I just love the sports teams around here. They're the best. But today's my day. I know that today's going to be a very different day than all of my other experiences. I've landed on Phenom's career site, and automatically I can see that it's not asking me for keywords or locations. It's simply asking me to ask questions about the job. It's using the natural language processing to ask me to talk about positions and the stuff that I'm looking for in the way that I would normally speak. And so I just start to type. Tell me about jobs in marketing that are flexible, located in the Philadelphia area. And then I hit enter. Automatically, I'm served up with 15 opportunities that are extremely relevant to what I'm looking for and what I absolutely am trying to find. But it goes beyond that. X Plus in the background, taking the information that I've entered, is literally providing me with additional context about the position that I'm looking for, about the opportunities that are available, and information related to the job through stuff that is curated from different parts of Phenom's website. But then I also see that it's giving me other information. It's providing me with potential career opportunities beyond just what I'm looking for today. So not only am I getting information about the jobs that I'm looking for, I'm getting information about the company, and I'm getting information about my potential career path that I'm going to go through if I'm successful in landing this position. But I do notice that on the right-hand side, X Plus is there. And it's asking me if I've got any questions that I might want to ask in order to help facilitate this process and journey for me. And so I'm a little cheeky, and so I ask it, how can I successfully land a position here at Phenom because I really want to work here? It comes back and says, please just upload your resume. Simple, easy, not all that hard. So I pop in my resume, and it starts taking the skills that are built into my resume and comparing it against other candidates that are already there and the skills that are required to be successful in these positions that I'm looking for. Immediately, I get a curated list of 4 roles that are specifically tailored to me and what I'm looking for, with an indicator to tell me how great of a fit I am for these potential positions. This is amazing. When I think about how difficult and frustrating my process was up to today, I'm already further ahead, and I've only been on the site for about 2 minutes. I look at that first role, marketing manager, and this is the one I want to spend more time thinking about. I read through it, I realize this is my job. This is the one that I want, and so I hit the apply button, and immediately that process begins. In the background, X Plus is already doing its work. It recognizes that I'm a strong candidate, and it immediately sends me a notification asking me to schedule an interview. This is amazing. 5 minutes in, I'm already getting a request for an interview. I haven't heard anything else from any of the other jobs that I've applied to at this point. So I look at it, I see that I can pick a date and time, and I decide to click on that link to see where I'm going to go. Multiple dates, multiple times. It allows me to pick a time and date that's going to work for me as a candidate so that I've got the best possible experience and I can prepare to make sure that I'm successful through this process. I pick a date and time that works for me and hit submit and immediately get an interview confirmation that everything has been scheduled and I'm totally set to go. Awesome. In 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I've literally gone through the job, applied, and I've got an interview booked. But it doesn't end there. Once my interview's scheduled, I go to a spot called my Candidate Hub, and it's got everything I absolutely need. It is my one-stop shop to success, to making sure that I get to as far as I need to go through that interview process. It has all of my interviews that are scheduled. It allows me to reschedule directly from that platform. It also gives me links to the interviewers who I'm going to be spending time with and talking to, so I can get to know them a little bit better. I don't have to leave the platform in order to find this information. It provides me with interview tips and tricks so that I can spend time preparing myself, so I can be exceptionally comfortable going into the interview process. It also gives me ideas, other curated content that might come up. And as always, X Plus is right there to answer any questions that I may have as I go through this journey at Phenom through my interview process. And while I'm sitting here amazed and absolutely in awe at how quickly I've gotten to this point, the talent marketer at Phenom is getting ready to do the work that they need to do, and Lindsay's going to walk us through that.
Thanks, Luba. Happy to do it. Good morning, everyone. As Luba said, I'm Lindsay, and I'm a talent marketer. And from a single platform, I have the ability to create, edit, and track absolutely everything within all of the experiences that I'm responsible for creating. From that of the candidate that Luba walked us through, the employee, and even the alumni experience. But a single platform is just the beginning. using always-on analysis of talent signals, trends, and preferences. The system is constantly making recommendations for me of high-impact content that I can create, from articles to blogs to videos, even to full-on landing pages. And speaking of landing pages, we have a lot of marketing opportunities available here at Phenom. So I want to spin up a landing page fast that really showcases the phenomenal experience that could be in store for this top talent. So now traditionally, in order to do this, I would need to spend hours and hours finding imagery, fussing with the layout, and then really working with multiple people across different teams to determine the best content. So insert X+. With a click of a button, X+ has generated for me a multifaceted landing page, complete with roles and responsibilities, case studies, testimonials, tips and trends, and then of course, those job recommendations across all different types of marketing roles that we have open and available. Now, of course, as the talent marketer, I stay in the driver's seat, giving me the ability to manipulate the layout or edit anything specifically. And as I'm reviewing this page, I see an image that I'd like to swap to really showcase the new flexible nature of our marketing opportunities. So now, rather than going to my media library and scouring through hundreds or thousands of images, I simply give to X+ the general vibe that I'm looking for, and it carefully selects, curates, and replaces that image with exactly what I'm thinking. This John does it all. And if you guys don't know what the word John means, that's part of your homework for after this. Just a Philly thing. So whether I'm a team of one recruitment marketer or talent marketer, or someone that has little, or in my case, zero experience, this X+ has really helped me to curate both layouts and content that is going to help me enrich all of the experiences that I'm responsible for creating. So now that this page is chef's kiss and has been published, the next step is really to maximize visibility for all of my potential marketing talent. So I want to create a pipeline or a campaign to that marketing pipeline to get as much interest and traffic on the page as possible. So now again, traditionally, that list that I've been saving up, I would send a single email campaign to with the link to this landing page. But with the help of X+, who is 3 steps at minimum ahead of me, X+ has, when I say, hey, help me create this campaign, segmented that marketing pipeline into several different audiences for me. So from the weekend appliers who are sick and tired of their current job and ready to make their move, the early risers who are early in their careers and excited to grow into new roles in their marketing journey, or even those that are always searching from a mobile device. It has not only curated separate emails, but has helped me to create content and messaging that is likely to resonate with each of their unique interests. So what would have taken me previously hundreds of hours in filtering, sorting, and if I had the time or energy to personalize my outreach, X+ has done this for me in seconds. So after a quick review, I'm ready to publish, sit back, and watch the traffic results soar for this landing page. So now that Luba and I have walked through really creating a bespoke candidate experience facilitated by seamless recruitment marketing outreach with the help of X+, I'd like to turn it over to my friend Kumar.
Hey everyone, good morning. How's everyone doing today? My name is Kumar and I'm a part of the product team. And today we are going to talk about an interesting problem. So since the pandemic and the new hybrid working model, the way interview processes happen has changed, right? And 85% of all interviews that are happening today are either over video or phone. And if you look at how interviews have happened in the last 30 years, the process has essentially been the same. You meet with a recruiter, you interview with the hiring team, it takes days for you to get feedback, and that's the same. The only thing that has changed is the medium. Now you have Zoom, now you have Teams, and Google to conduct those interviews. We've analyzed the data of all the data that we have on our platform. The interview process takes us an average of 23 days in the hiring process. 4 interviews on an average per candidate. And it takes 5 days to get feedback from your interview teams. And organizations don't know why this is happening. There is no data, no metrics, or insights. And if you really try to dig in, this is what you get. So the time has arrived to disrupt how interviewing happens. And today, we are introducing a new product called Interview Intelligence. The Interview Intelligence product records, analyzes, and transcribes your interviews to provide meaningful insights to your recruiters and to your interview teams to completely revolutionize interviewing. Let's take a look at the product. And for this, I'm going to invite Faina and Sebastian on stage.
Hi, everyone. So Kumar just went through some really key data points, but let's really get laser focused on the solution and laser focused on the persona, the hiring manager. So we have Jack. He's an incredible hiring manager, but just like most other hiring managers, he's running meeting to meeting. He's tried the 25-minute meetings, the 55-minute meetings to leave himself 5 minutes, but he doesn't even have time for a bio break. He's like most hiring managers, except Sean. Apparently Sean has lots of time for bio breaks. Now, let's go back to Jack. Jack has an upcoming interview for a really critical position. He scarfs down his sandwich. We'll talk about the definition of a sandwich at another session. And Jack immediately gets an email 30 minutes before the interview. And once he clicks on open the interview kit, it compiles all the information that Jack needs. Because again, he doesn't have any time to look at a resume or jot down the interview notes that he needs. So with AI Summary, it compiles and curates all the information about the candidate that Jack needs to see. It even highlights specific skill sets for this exact job and potential gaps that Jack needs to double click on during his conversation. Now, once he scrolls down, he's actually able to see something that is game-changing. He's able to see the highlight reels of all the past conversations that the candidate has had with the hiring team, including comments and notes that Jack again wants to double click on. So now he has all the information to have a phenomenal conversation. But even more so, he now goes down and sees there's an entire section for interviews. Jack is an incredible hiring manager, as I mentioned. But Jack is not a certified HR partner like you all here. Jack doesn't study interview guidelines, doesn't study the new trends in compliance for interviews. So right away here, he'll be able to have all these specific interview questions that you need him to stay within those guardrails that are specific for that role. But even more so, now X Plus is also going to specifically curate questions based on the sentiment of previous conversations with this candidate, with also those gaps and skill sets that he needs to double click on, making it the most customizable, phenomenal interview between the interviewer and, of course, the candidate. So now Jack has all of this information. But before Jack jumps in to the interview, he's actually going to get a reminder based on all the previous interviews he's had, his metrics, his talk to listen ratio, which you'll see, Jack is a talker. Also, his speed. He talks really fast like me, needs a reminder to breathe, slow it down. We're all human here, right? So now Jack has all of this information to be able to jump into the interview. So before we jump into the interview, I'm going to introduce my height twin, Sebastian, to walk you through it.
Thank you, Faina. So now Jack is ready to actually start the interview. But because this is not his daily job, right? This used to be a very chaotic process for him. He had a second screen connected, multiple documents on there, and all the notes he took on a piece of paper. But we all know that taking notes, or actually trying to really listen to the conversation of the candidate, and getting the important context in between is almost impossible. But now this is going to change, and Jack can really focus on the conversation. Everything he needs is in a centralized place, and once the other participants join the meeting, the interview is automatically recorded and transcribed. On the right-hand side, you see the Interview Companion app, which works with all the different video conferencing tools. Jack gets to see the interview guide that he already prepped on to make sure he's really following the process. But unlike me, a very hard, fact-driven German guy, Jack loves small talk, right? And 10 minutes in the conversation, he has not even started with the very first question yet. And that's where Phenom X Plus comes in and notifies him, hey, please get started. You have only 20 minutes left, and you still have 7 questions to answer. So finally, he gets going, and during the conversation, any very important moment he wants to capture, let it be a highlight or a red flag, with a click of a button, he can capture this feedback, this moment, and it is immediately associated to this very specific part of the interview. Very, very simple. If he wants to refer back to the candidate profile, there's no second document needed. It's directly integrated into the companion app, and he can really focus on the conversation itself. At the end of the call, Jack navigates to the Insights tab, and that's where Phenom X Plus also makes a very important job for Jack. All the important highlights and key topics that he discussed in the conversation are automatically captured, and the entire conversation is summarized for him. And at the end of the call, the candidate asks a very important question about a salary change. Normally, Jack forgets about it because he's super busy with his daily job. Now, this follow-up action is automatically detected, and this really helps Jack to follow up immediately, and the time that Kumar mentioned, from 5 days that it takes currently to get back to a candidate, is really reduced to a single day, and we really help to speed up the entire hiring process.
Perfect. So now the interview is over, and Jack gets an email. And the email summarizes everything that has happened in the interview, some of the key highlights, all the great stuff, and now it's prompting him to come back and write feedback. What does Jack do? Conveniently ignores it, right? So after a couple of nudges, he comes back into the platform. But he doesn't remember exactly what happened during the interview. He's lost a lot of context because it's been a while. Now we have interview intelligence to the rescue. The entire transcript is transcribed right here. So Jack can essentially see everything that happened during the call. He can quickly go into some of those highlights and just play those snippets of videos that he had marked during the interview. On top of that, the AI completely summarizes everything that has happened. So it gives a quick glimpse of what happened during the interview, and it even classifies all the interview questions that have happened. What were the questions that Jack asked, and what were the questions that the candidate asked, and everything is really segmented from that perspective. He can even tag other people in the organization to go and take a look at some of the comment and give some insights. We also see some overview and insights here, right? So the AI is actually automatically suggesting what the topics were discussed during this interview. It also gives a little bit of a training to the hiring manager to say what was the amount of time the interviewer spoke versus the candidate. It gives the talking speed, and it also gives insights about how many times Jack interrupted the candidate, right? Pretty cool, right? So now, Jack has everything to start the evaluation process. So he can look at all the comments and ultimately provide an evaluation. Once the evaluation is done, the feedback from rest of the interview teams are now open for Jack to review. He can review this candidate and try to make an offer decision. But again, Jack may not have a lot of time to go through all the detailed feedback. He can now use Phenom X Plus. X Plus is going to help Jack read the summary of all the feedback that all the interview teams have provided, right? In just 2 seconds, there's the summary. And he can even compare the summary of this candidate to another candidate and then make an informed, data-driven decision to hire the candidate, right? So that's what X Plus adds to this equation.
Perfect. And what we have all seen now is the ideal tool for hiring managers and hiring teams to make fast and data-driven decisions. But let's zoom out and change the perspective to a CHO or a talent leader. Their #1 goal is to actually get the best candidates hired very, very quickly. And what do you need for this, right? You need interviewers who are actually able to identify the top talent in the process. And secondly, you need interviewers who are able to sell the job and to give candidates a great experience in the process, because there's a lot of competition for this good talent. The problem today, it's a big black box, and managers and leaders have no insight into the performance of all of the individual interviewers. But of course, we have something for you here. And because all the interviews, the conversations are automatically captured, managers now get immediate access and can compare all their interviewers based on conversational metrics, based on the interview score, and based on the sentiment. And on this dashboard here, this manager, for instance, he has 55 interviewers to compare to. But what about training? Training is also a very difficult and challenging aspect. With Phenom X Plus and the click of a button, the manager trims down from these 5 interviewers to only 20 and immediately identifies training opportunities that this person has to focus on. Let's look at Eleanor. Eleanor is fairly new to the team and had an interview yesterday where she asked an illegal question. Until today, this would have gone completely unnoticed. But now, the manager is informed, can actually watch this session and provide immediate feedback to this dedicated interviewer. This will really help you to skyrocket the top-performing interviewers in your organization, and there's never been an easier tool to coach and give direct feedback to your interviewers. That's all what we wanted to show you today for Interview Intelligence, and now we're excited to bring John Deal back on stage.
Hey, I'm the segue. So we saw a lot of great updates to existing products, and the team introduced 2 brand new products, Interview Intelligence and Candidate Hub. So keep an eye out for more information on those 2 new products. Now I'd like to introduce Adam to talk to us about TA automation.
High volume hiring. It means different things to different companies. It means different things to different business units, sometimes within those companies. For some of you, it might mean needing to hire thousands of employees rapidly for your peak season. For others, maybe it means getting flooded with candidates for an exciting new role. No matter what high volume hiring means to you, you need to be able to quickly engage, screen, interview, and hire candidates into your open positions. And we all know that that is critical to our businesses. However, we know that it takes, on average, 3 to 5 days to get back in touch with a qualified applicant. And in that time, that qualified applicant could be applying to 10, 20, 50 more positions. You have to be able to get back in touch with them quickly. And what we also know is that 70% of job seekers lose interest if they don't hear back within just 1 week after an interview. How many of us have lost a really good candidate because it took us a little bit too long to get back in touch? And our hiring managers and our recruiters are struggling to keep up with their recruitment tasks. However, when all we have is a hammer, every problem can look like a nail. We end up using the same process for every one of our jobs, every one of our business units, and it's not optimal, and we know it. What we really need is a complete toolkit where we can pick out the right tool to solve the right problem. What this means for companies like Southwest Airlines, who might need to hire ramp agents in the frozen tundra of Minneapolis or the sweltering heat of Dallas, could be Bright Horizons, who needs to hire qualified teachers that need to meet specific requirements of each state. It could be Coles, the largest retailer in Australia, where in the outback, sometimes the only candidate's a kangaroo. It could be True Green, who their CHRO is going to tell you a little bit about their story later today. It might be Circle K, where in the United States, you've got a complete drought of candidates, but flooded in countries in Scandinavia. It could be Bon Secours, who needs to rapidly hire medical professionals that possess super specialized skill sets. No matter what high volume hiring means to you, Phenom High Volume Hiring can help you solve it. I want to invite Stacy and Mark to the stage to show you what an evolved hiring manager and candidate experience can look like with Phenom high volume hiring.
I'm Mark, a hiring manager for Phenom's brand new retail operations. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but Mahe's actually opening a store a couple blocks down, specializing in yoga pants, meditation gear. Not really sure why. Hey, it works. I have to be real for a second, though. I'm having an absolute horrible day. Peak season just started. We're busier than normal than anticipated. Great, right? Wrong. Completely wrong. My best shift leader just quit. I don't have time to leave the floor, much less go through a full hiring process. What I have to do is I got to jump back to the office computer, got to sit down for a little bit. I'm going to totally get distracted. Hour goes by. Maybe I'll get to posting a job, but it's going to take me forever and just take me off my game. The good news is Phenom can help. I can grab my mobile device and jump on Phenom Hiring Manager. Now I have to backfill this position for a shift leader, so I can immediately grab my pre-approved template for a shift leader, add some additional context to it for my specific requisition, including the reasons that we need to rehire. Because I have the approval to actually push this out live, which, yes, we can support approval processes, I can push this job directly to the career site and then start getting notifications directly sent to my phone via SMS. I can even print off a QR code, put it directly in the front windows and on the registers right away to start hiring immediately.
As a job seeker, I've been on the job hunt for a few weeks, and I'm over it. Every application seems to take 20 minutes to fill out, and I've done 10, 30, 50 applications in the past week. There's a few companies that I'm still waiting to hear back from. So to kind of clear my mind, I'm going to go for a walk to my favorite fictional Phenom store location. And I see that they've just posted a QR code to advertise their jobs. So maybe I'll fill out just one more application. Let's see what it looks like. Just take out my phone here, go ahead and scan that handy-dandy QR code. Start off on this process. Oh, that's nice. Looks like it's inviting me to go ahead and look for a job. I'll go do that. Oh, they're providing background on their company. I usually have to go to YouTube for that. That's pretty cool. All right, it's asking me for the type of job I'm interested in. This is pretty easy. I don't have to use any filters. All right, it's asking for my address. Let's see what happens when I put that in. Whoa. I'm getting tailored job recommendations based on my location. I'm actually going to choose this first job because it's in this store location that I'm in right now. It's my favorite store. All right, I'll say I'm interested in this and go ahead, put in my contact information, my email address. Oh, there's a typo there. Let me fix that. Okay, perfect. This is really easy. Wow, screening questions are just included right in this. All right, let me put in my information. All right, shift availability, can do that, no problem. This is all in one spot. I haven't seen anything like this before. Whoa, I just got information that I'm qualified for this job. That only took 2 minutes. This is kind of cool. I see that I have 2 options to move forward right away. I can actually schedule time on site, or I can record a video interview. I'm gonna go ahead and choose to schedule. Maybe I can get in today. Let's see what they have. There's availability today. This is awesome. I actually have another interview at a different company this evening, so if I can line these up, I'll do this one this afternoon, let's say around 1 p.m. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, confirmed. Awesome. Great. I know my friend Paige is also looking for a job, so let me get her into this. I'll add her contact information, her name in here. All right, she'll get an automatic outreach from our favorite fictional Phenom store. And it looks like just by doing that, I'm now eligible for a reward with this organization. This is really cool.
Ding! Oh, I just got an alert on my phone that I have an interview already today. That was quick. Holy cow. Fast forward a few hours, and the interview went great. Stacy's a perfect fit for the organization. I think I can make my day a heck of a lot better and get this all taken care of fast. I can pull out my phone again, jump on Hiring Manager, and immediately provide my evaluation. Give her eval on the actual interview, and even recommend her for hire. My GM Maggie's going to be super, super pumped. She doesn't have to harass me and track me down for this feedback, waste a bunch of time. I can do it immediately on my phone. As I've recommended her for hire, I can also be prompted to start the offer process as well. In a few short steps, I can be able to put together the context behind my offer, add a little bit of information to it, including my approved salary range, and immediately send Stacy an SMS with that offer.
Ding. Oh, just got a text on my phone from Mark at Phenom. Looks like he's offering me a job already. Is this real? Let me click this link and see what happens. Oh my gosh, there's guided steps for me to accept this offer. I can't believe this is real. Let me check out the offer letter. Wow, it looks like I can start tomorrow, and I can sign this on my phone. I don't even know if I want to take this interview this evening. This company's really cool. You know what? I'm going to sign this offer right now. I'm going to cancel my interview for this evening. This is the type of company I want to work for.
And now we'd like to bring Adam back to show the magic behind all this workflow automation.
Let me introduce to you Phenom's automation engine. This is where we've automated automation. This is what powers experiences like the one that you just saw with Mark and Stacy. I can come into my automation engine, and whether I need to build an automation for recruitment or onboarding or talent management, I can do it all through this one tool. And we know not a lot of people are used to configuring automations on their own, so you can actually get training in the product itself through tutorials and videos. You can also see the ROI that your automations have provided back to the company, whether it be how many hours we've saved, how much money we've saved, or whatever metrics are critical to you and your organization. We can scroll down and take a look at that shift leader type of position that we just saw. And we may instantly notice certain locations aren't performing quite as well as others. With a single click, we can start to discover how that automation is performing. We can see how many candidates have come through, how much time is it taking, what is our conversion rate for each step of this automated process. We can drill into our knockout questions and start to understand what types of criteria are knocking candidates out and gives us a chance to reconsider those criteria. Phenom X Plus can also have a huge impact here. It can automatically recommend different optimizations based on your data and benchmarks for clients like you. With a single click, we can go straight into our workflow builder. Our workflow builder allows you to either start completely from scratch and build a workflow based just on your needs, or you can be presented with recommendations that you can edit, review, and eventually accept and launch. For example, we could drill all the way down to an individual store location if you might want to A/B test something. From there, in the example that we saw with Mark and Stacy, there was an interview, and Mark manually sent her that offer. In certain markets, you may want to completely accelerate past that and instantly automate offers to the highest qualified candidates. And once enough candidates accept those offers, pull that position down, get it closed, pulled off of the career site, off of the job boards, so that candidates are now instead directed towards the positions that you still need more applicants for. And once you're ready, publish it, and there it goes. We can also drill into all kinds of recommendations and opportunities that are specific to your company's context. Whether it mean implementing new fast-track workflow, looking at specific steps that you may optimize, improving your dropout rate during an interview step, increasing leads by adding a referral stage to different processes, collecting feedback from your employees through a survey. It could be optimizing for seasonal hiring or adding additional languages to the experience. And by the way, this doesn't just work through a chatbot. This works through any experience or any channel that your candidates may want to interact with your company through. That may mean SMS, it may mean WhatsApp, it may mean anytime somebody clicks that apply button on your career site. No matter what your needs are, Phenom can help you automate them. I'd like to bring John back on the stage to tell you a little bit more.
So streamlining talent acquisition involved 3 new products: the automation engine, the talent companion, and rec and offer management. And there's actually a session this afternoon at 2:45 on the talent companion. You can do a little bit deeper dive, so check that out, please. Now we're going to transition from talent acquisition to talent management. And we're going to bring Kumar back on stage to talk about TM intelligence.
Let's quickly switch gears into talent management. This is a constant problem, right? Employee loyalty has constantly been declining over the years. And this is a global phenomenon, and we've been seeing that the #1 reason employees quit organizations is because they don't see a lack of career advancement. There are other reasons, but this is the one reason. So as a result, every single company is in some sort of a journey with a strategy to retain and grow their talent. We hear two common threads. How do we show internal career paths to our employees so that they can grow into better roles? And how do we become a skill-first organization, right? And if you look at how it is done today, this is the process. Talent management meets with every department, maps out all the key roles, maps out all the key skills that are required for each role, maps out all the competencies required for each skills, and publishes it to the manager. And this repeats for every department. Now, this is an extremely laborious and time-consuming process, right? If you have a 20,000 people organization, it takes 2 years to do that. And the bigger risk is all of this work becomes obsolete very quickly. And while you're doing all of this, your employees still don't have transparency into their growth. They are walking away from you. We've looked at our own data. This is our data on our platform in 2022. And what we've seen is the needs of employees completely change based on their tenure in the company, right from understanding their role to building connections to developing skills and even transitioning to other roles. Their needs are completely changed. But yet, most of the organizations may have 1 or maximum 2 strategies on retention and growth, and that's a problem. If you look at all the existing tools that are there with the organization today, you have org charts, ATSs, HCMs that are giving you information. There are assessment tools and surveys that you send out, and there are some development tools you may have rolled out, but these still don't solve the equation. Employees are still confused, managers don't know how to use this framework, and that becomes a big challenge. So today, we are introducing intelligence for talent management. It's a platform that unifies the employee, the HR talent manager, and the manager in one ecosystem that drives intelligence and insights for all stakeholders. We have the employee experience already, and hundreds of customers have already deployed this platform. But today, we are going to take a look at the other two. For this, I'd like to invite Ryan and Laura on stage to show you the product.
Now, welcome to the talent marketplace. And what you see first when you come in is a dashboard for Donna. And Donna's dashboard is personalized for her. Now, it's personalized based off of a couple of attributes, things like how many years she has with the organization, her tenure. Also, all of the ever-changing types of information coming in for her employee profile, things like her skills, things like her current job title. It's all feeding in. Now, what this does for Donna is it provides her with recommendations all throughout her trajectory in her career. It starts at day 1. So the first thing that happens is Donna's incredibly excited to join this new organization. She's been telling everybody about it, her family, her friends, she's on social media, and now just rather than celebrating, she can invite others through a referral, which she's been notified that's the first step to get involved with the company. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. She's made some progress in her career. She's 1.5 to 2 years in. And now those recommendations are changing. It's starting to understand that she's going to be here for a minute. She might as well start to get to know some of the folks that she's working with, either in her department or maybe even other departments as well. So socialization. It's also offered her the opportunity to become a mentor so that she can start to show people what success looks like and start to work with them and get them excited as they become onboarded. Now, it doesn't end there. Throughout this whole process, she's been kind of served up recommendations to be able to upskill for herself. Now, this could come in many different ways. Things like LMS coursework. It could be tackling short-term project-based work or doing some sort of an internship internally, if you will. Now, all of this is coming together in her own employee profile. This is where all the information lives, and Donna loves this. And the reason she loves it is not just for herself to see the progress she's made, but she also loves it because now it gives her the opportunity to collaborate with either her peers, her boss, to get really good feedback about how she's doing and where she can progress. It's also giving her the ability to start to understand where she can go next and validate some of those skills. Now, let's fast forward even further. Now she's 5 years in. She's enjoying her job. She loves the organization. She also is just really thrilled about what's to come next. She wants new challenges. She wants new opportunities, and she has a choice to be made. She could either go elsewhere outside of the walls of the organization that she loves, or she could stay right here. And luckily enough, those recommendations are still ever changing and understanding where she is in her trajectory. Now they're offering her things like jobs that are matched to her, so she knows what step is next through internal mobility. Additionally, she can also start to craft her own path through career pathing, so she knows exactly where she is today, where she could be tomorrow, and even up till retirement if she so chose. Now, ultimately, what this means is that she's made a home here, and she can stay with the organization that she loves. Now, as Kumar said, this is something that's already deployed outside into the market, hundreds of clients globally at Phenom. But what hasn't been is what's up next. Let's see what it looks like from the talent manager's perspective. Take it away, Laura.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. I am so excited to be chatting with you all about this today. As you've heard from Kumar, there are so many changes happening in the talent management space. And as we've seen from all of these awesome demos today, talent intelligence is doing a lot to help our acquisition teams hire top talent quickly. But what about our talent management teams? Once talent is brought into the organization, how do we make sure that that talent is onboarded, retained, and developed, and ultimately move through another part of the organization? Historically, in order to do that, I, as a talent manager, my name is Laura, I have a number of different Excel sheets on my computer with information about employees in my organization, what their skills are, what their roles are, what the progressions are in the organization. And now we have ERM, a centralized location where all of this data lives. Think of this as your CRM for employees. So today, I am going to be perusing this dashboard, and I noticed something that the talent acquisition team has actually posted, which are top critical roles in the organization that they're trying to hire for. This piques my interest because the product management organization is an organization that I manage and support. So I want to understand why it's a critical role, and I want to learn more about that role. I can see all of the employees associated to that role. I can even see the skills associated to that role as well. And now, I know skills is a bit of a trigger word for some of you in this crowd. I understand. I know we've been through the laborious process of having to map skills to roles. You've heard from your CHRO that it's taken way too much time. It's completely been scrapped. Well, thanks for Phenom. All of this information is actually here for you. You have the ability to have a foundation available to you that you can edit and modify at any given point, but at least this framework is already here for you. But what do you do with these skills? Well, you also understand competencies that these skills are associated to, but then also how these skills progress and help people progress into other roles. These progressions are also all automated here for you. Over the past 12 years, we've been aggregating data from these skills, from different previous employee progressions, from market data, to organize these progressions for you. So you can see how one role moves into another role, all of the different skills that are overlapped, and all of the different skills that have gaps in them as well. So you can kind of walk your employee through all of these progressions. There's a lot of other information here, but what I want to highlight really quickly is this succession plan. We know that as Kumar kind of shared, we have that triad of relationship between the talent manager, the employee, and the manager. While we can help employees evolve in their organization, we know that managers also have a job to do, and they do not want to potentially let their employees progress if there's not a successor available as well. Again, Phenom puts all of this information here for you. What I've seen on this screen is that in this particular role, there are 55 employees in this role today. However, only 7 successors have been identified. That's an issue. I'll come back to that shortly. So I'm preparing for my next meeting, and I know that I'm going to be chatting with Will. Will is a manager that I support, and Will loves data. Me too, Will. But not only does Will love data, Will loves an action plan, and every single time that we have a conversation together, he wants me to come with detail-oriented data to support our conversation, to support how his team is growing, and also action plans on how to solve for it. I don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to go ahead and ask X Plus to give me some high-level recommendations and key insights about his organization. X Plus is telling me that there is an employee in his team that has a flight risk, or that is a flight risk, as well as there are a number of different skill gaps in his organization as well. I'm going to double-click into the flight risk first. This is Donna. I know Donna actually personally. Luckily, all of her information is there. Fun fact, you all also know Donna because you saw her profile a few minutes ago in the demo that Ryan gave. We know what her skills are. We know that she's been at the organization for a number of years. We know that she's a top performer and that she wants to stay in the company. So why is she a flight risk? Well, I go into her growth. I see the progression that she's created for herself, the career progression that she's created. She's identified not only her next role, but even the role after that. And she's even started upskilling as well. She started engaging with mentors, with gigs, to try to evolve her skills so she can move in this next direction. So what's the issue here? I dig in a little bit deeper. I actually see that Donna has started looking for jobs internally. This is a bit of an issue because there is no succession plan for her. And I know that if she's looking for jobs internally, she's also looking for jobs externally. So I go ahead and I look into her successors, and I actually see that she has not been assigned a succession role, and that Will, her manager, wants to hold on to her. I get it. I would too. Donna is awesome. However, there are a number of awesome successors in the organization that can take her place. And during our conversation with Will, I'm going to bring these up to him, talk about how we can move Donna into that succession path, into a new role in the organization, and then proactively provide him with recommendations on how we can start bringing these other folks into conversations about potentially successing her as well. But I think I want a little bit more information about my conversation as I'm talking with Will. So I'm going to now start looking at trends overall. Will is part of the product organization. He always likes to see kind of what's going on the more macro level. So I'm going to filter on this dashboard for specifically product management. Again, I don't have a ton of time here, so I'm going to go back to X+. And this time, I remember previously it told me that there were some skill gaps going on in the organization. This time I'm going to ask it, who are the top leaders in the organization? How can we maybe work internally to help fill those skill gaps? Sure enough, X+ has told me all the potentials in the organization that are high performers and that have high leadership potential. 2 are ready now. 13 are missing a few leadership skills. Again, upskilling opportunity. So I'm a little hesitant to think about upskilling. Again, a bit of a trigger word. We know how much time and effort it takes to support an upskilling opportunity in an organization. You may stand up leadership, learning and development courses, but it's really up to the employee and up to the managers to enable people to take those courses. Well, luckily, Phenom has automated what that experience looks like. It builds an email campaign for me to trigger to my employees. It also identifies for me a number of different employees and their managers that need to be upskilled. In addition to that, it tells me all of the skills, all of the competencies that need to be included in this initiative, making it incredibly easy and personalized for me to have these conversations with the employees and their managers. So next, I want to understand how can I help these people upskill. One of my personal favorite things about what we've built here is upskilling is not limited to learning and development courses online. We know that people have different preferences for how they want to learn. We also support gigs. We also support mentorships. And these are all different ways that we can personalize, recommend for people to take these upskilling opportunities and make them fit to what they want and what their career goals are. Finally, I see a review of this entire plan that Phenom has helped put together for me that I've been able to modify and select along the way. And I know that now I'm going to have this conversation with Will and share it with him. But before I do, fast forward a few weeks, I can actually take all of this information and track it in real time and check to see how the initiative is going. I can see what skills and competencies have been developed, what people are working on. I can even see team progressions to see how these skills and competencies and how people are being upskilled and what those progressions look like in real time to see if people are actually moving within their organization. This is a tool that I can leverage at any given time to do a bit of a check mark. And so like I've said, and like Kumar said, I always go back to that triangle with the employee, the talent manager, and the manager. And really, this is a triad. This is a relationship between all three individuals. And I'm so grateful that I have a partner like Will, who also has a product that that's also provided by Phenom with all of this information as well. So during my one-on-one with Will, he can go into his platform and see that there's a new upskilling initiative that's been assigned to him. We can have a conversation about that. We still know that the people are required to make these changes happen, but now these automated tools are there, these personalized recommendations are there to make these conversations even easier. I've reviewed a lot today. We've talked about a few different personas, but if there's one thing that I hope you take away, it's that at Phenom, we really care about building the right solutions to solve your problems, and especially in this talent management space as we've shown today. I'm going to invite John back onto the stage, and he's going to tell you a little bit about how you can learn more about all of these solutions coming forward. Thank you.
So many TM intelligence products, including Talent Marketplace, ERM, succession planning, and team management. There's a great session on the Talent Marketplace today at 2 o'clock, so take a right and check that out. Now I'd like to bring out Chad and Jackie to talk to us about TM automation.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jackie, and I am a current seasonal stockroom employee at one of those fictional Phenom retail locations we talked about earlier. From day one, on my phone, I'm able to manage my work week, view my upcoming scheduled shifts, and get any kind of information about company benefits that I might need. After a couple months of back-breaking work, I decided I'd like to grow within the organization and elevate my career. I am thrilled to see that leadership opportunities have been unlocked for me, and I want to take a look at what some of those perks might look like for a new role. More money and the possibility of no weekends? Sounds like paradise. I know, though, in order to be considered for one of these opportunities, I also need to elevate my skills. Luckily, Phenom provides me with a roadmap to do exactly that. As I start getting in the groove, taking learning courses, upskilling myself, and finding out more information, I decide I'm a little bit inspired here. I want to invest in myself and explore higher education. I chat with the employee assistant, and I find out what type of company perks might help me along in this adventure. I decide to enroll in a college program. Due to the stress of that same college program, I start to scale back my hours at that Phenom retail location. And eventually, as the courses get tougher, in my senior year, I decide to leave. But before I do so, I make sure that I sign up for that alumni community so that I can keep the lines of communication open, because I'm working towards getting my dream leadership role back at the organization that first inspired me. We fast forward to a couple months from now, and I have received my diploma and a notification that my dream job has opened up back at that same location I worked at before. I apply to that position, and folks, I get that job. Throughout my employee journey, we have watched me manage my work week, learn new skills, and eventually apply and get my dream job, all through the palm of my hand. I bet you're all wondering, though, how did that notification come to me? How was I able to get something that was so specific to my career journey as well as that location that I've worked at? I'm going to throw it on over to Chad to take you through that process.
So today, I'm going to walk you through what it's like for a talent automation manager preparing for their upcoming seasonal hiring plan. So as we know, there's a couple difficult things that always happen. It's hard to scale. We know that employee experience needs to be localized, and it's imperative that you hit your hiring goals because that has direct impact on your company's performance. So, not to add any pressure to you, but there's that. So now I'm going to take you through our automation engine. So as you log in, you would click on your talent automation, and then you're going to search for different opportunities to be able to optimize your seasonal hiring. So I'll type in seasonal hiring, and you're going to see that there's actually quite a few different opportunities to be able to optimize each one of these flows. Specifically, we can talk about the retention of seasonal employees. But right now, let's dig into this optimizing of seasonal hiring. So when I click on that, you're going to see it instantly breaks into two different flows. You have your urban and your rural locations. Now, as hiring managers, you know automatically that I have to make different experiences for both of these locations. Well, luckily for us, our automation knows that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a simulation of 10,000 candidates that are going to go through these two different flows to create these different optimal experiences for these candidates. And as you're seeing, for our urban locations, we're going to reach out to our alumni, and also we're going to automate some of our sourcing. Now, as we look at our rural locations, you're instantly going to see it's making changes on the fly as it's running this simulation. Specifically, instead of going through, checking their availability, and then automatically scheduling, for the alumni, we're going to check their availability and instantly offer them that job. If we scroll down a little bit, you're going to see that we're going to reach out to some of our pre-existing contingent workers or some of our shift workers. We're going to offer them additional gigs or shifts to be able to fill some of those gaps in between. Now, as I look what this has done, we can see the outcomes of the impact that we've created now. So what does this do? This saves your company time, money, and resources. And all you have to do is either get approval or create that workflow, and it's into production. So next, I'm going to turn it over to John, so he's going to walk you through.
So the TM automation products that we heard about were the Alumni Marketplace and Career Pathing for Frontline. You can learn more about Alumni in our Boomerang Effect session today at 3 o'clock. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Nancy, Elia, and Tim to talk about how our platform tools can put configuration in your hands.
You've seen these experiences powered by technology and AI, but these experiences cannot be built on thin air. They're built on a foundation of data flows, system APIs, and other infrastructure. But connecting systems together is hard work, right? Well, we've developed a suite of tools to enable and configure these sophisticated technologies. These are no-code and low-code tools that dramatically reduce the time to go live, make the deployment process robust, and configure Phenom in a way that is customized to your organization and your talent acquisition, talent management requirements.
So the first tool we'll look at is Design Studio. Design Studio is our no-code configuration tool in CMS. We've removed the need to submit tickets to customize all aspects of your career site. Within widget design settings, CMS users are able to change the padding to better match desired look and feel. They can also add custom icons to search buttons, change the corner radius on the card widget. All of these custom settings enable consistent branding across your entire career site. These are just some examples of design customizations made possible by Design Studio.
Here are a few examples of how these configuration tools deliver powerful AI to you. Let's talk about teaser generation. When a candidate searches for a job on a career site, each search result comes with a short summary called a teaser. You could write the summaries manually, or you could have Phenom X Plus do it for you. Let's stay with search. Thanks to rich data collection, we know that candidates might return to your career site multiple times before they apply to a job. That means we can personalize how search works for the candidate based on their own searches on prior visits. We can enable that with an algorithm called learning to rank. Another AI opportunity, A/B tests. We can optimize your career site with A/B testing as Phenom develops new technologies. With something called multi-arm bandits, these A/B tests become more efficient so that we can test out more algorithm configuration and find a configuration that works for you. Finally, let's talk about FitScore. Phenom FitScore is a model that predicts whether a resume is a good match for a job. You heard about FitScore bias results earlier this morning from Mahe. FitScore is a complex model with configuration options that may be appropriate for your organization. For example, you might have a single job category like sales that might contain both junior sales reps as well as senior sales leaders. Their jobs really fall in different job zones, and so we can customize FitScore to take job zone into account accordingly.
So another tool we'll look at is Connector Studio. Connector Studio is a library of prepackaged integrations that can be configured via self-serve. We know HR tech is a highly fragmented environment, and to be successful, organizations need to integrate with any vendor across the landscape. Connector Studio enables access to any vendor via self-serve config without the need of working with technical teams. Select your connector, add it to your tenant, and start configuring your API integrations.
As you've seen this morning, our platform is more connected and powerful than ever. And I'm excited to share the evolution of our analytics from intelligent insights powered by AI. It's like having a data analyst sitting beside you. While you continue to get our great data-driven analytics, you'll also have our AI looking for trends and actionable insights to make your job easier and make you more valuable than ever to your organization. By drilling down by division, region, or country, you can access insights into your talent pipelines, hiring funnel, and team performance. Imagine sitting down at your desk, opening up your Phenom Insights Hub, and seeing that your talent pipeline for data scientists, a critical role for your organization, is lower than normal in a particular region, or that your pipeline for sales account executives is healthy. Phenom AI Insights will serve up even deeper insights, identifying how many candidates have what types of degrees, who the top 5 companies are that your candidates are coming from. This perspective will enable you to refine how and where you spend your time and resources. You'll even be able to compare the engagement scores across your talent pipelines, allowing you to focus your talent marketing efforts. Analytics combined with intelligent insights powered by Phenom AI is truly revolutionary. And now let's welcome back our Phenom CEO and visionary leader, Mahe Bayireddi.
So you have seen all the product updates. Most of those updates really came from a lot of customer insights, what we're supposed to do, and where we have to really put our energy towards, because it's all about, product is all about resources, it's ideas, it's also commitment to really build these things. But at the end of the day, you have to really think about one thing. How do you control this whole infrastructure for your organization for the best way how you think? So Mac, when Mac was released in 1980s, there was a question to Steve Jobs by a media analyst. And the question was, will computers control human beings? And his answer was, it's about 12 pounds. You can throw it out of your window if your relationship isn't not going well. Technology is not more than that. Keep this in mind. All the AI controls, what we really created, can be switched off based on your company, your team, your user needs. We all have a collective responsibility to really make sure these things don't do extreme adverse impact, complex situations like what social media did. In enterprises, that's way less. There is a reason for it, because enterprises constantly look at privacy, safety from a different point of view than what a consumer sees. And we as Phenom want to commit for the industry. We will make sure, we will really certify over 25,000 HR professionals how to use AI in the best format. On top of it, for our customers, we will really spend about $25 million of expert services to make sure there is a successful adoption of automation and intelligence so that you can deliver phenomenal experiences. Let's help 1 billion people find the right job, and let's make every talent moment phenomenal. Thank you.